Yes, I'm going down to St. James Infirmary. See my baby there, she's dressed out on a long white table. She's so sweet, so calm, so fair. Let her go, oh bless her. Wherever she may be, she will search this wide world over, but she'll never find another sweet man like me. Now when I die, bend me in my straight leg breeches, put on a box back coat and a Stetson hat.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Retro Alliance Gaming Halloween month. How are you all doing today? So today I want to talk about one of my favorite survival horror games that has ever come out, and that is the game Fatal Frame. But we are not going to be doing a review of this game. Instead, what I want to do is I want to talk about the true story behind the game in a video that I like to call the Himuro Mansion Haunting. On December 13, 2001, a game known as Fatal Frame was released across the world as a brand new survival horror game. I remember seeing this in the store, and the first thing I noticed in the corner was it said based off of a true story. Now, seeing this immediately caught my attention because I already loved horror games, but to think there was one based off of a true story, this has got to be something amazing, right? This horror game was also set in Japan, so this was something very exciting for me as I was into a lot of Japanese folklore. I immediately got incredibly excited at the very idea, and I bought the game right then and there on the spot. I swear to God you couldn't pull my money out any faster than it came. The game takes place in 1986, and it follows the story of siblings Miku Hinasaki and her brother Mafuyu, who suddenly disappears while searching for a famous writer at the Himuro Mansion, which is said to be very haunted. His sister immediately sets out to find him. Now, the story starts off with a black and white prologue where you control her brother and plays out in a very gritty and terrifying way. Now, we're not going to go into the game for this video. I'll actually save that for a review in the future. But instead, we're going to dive into the backstory and the so-called real history behind the game. Was this a real event, or was it an elaborate hoax? Let's investigate and find out. There is an urban legend that lies just beyond the famous city of Tokyo. This area is known for many tragedies and urban tales, none other than the Himuro Mansion. The location of this place is actually unknown, but some speculate it's located in the rocky regions just outside of Tokyo. This mansion is said to be the resting place of hundreds of bodies, and is the setting of one of the most gruesome massacres in Japanese history. The urban legend states that the Himuro family had engaged in an evil ritual known as the strangling ritual. Very comforting, right? This was apparently done once every 50 years to help seal off ill energy and rid the area of bad karma. Now, supposedly, every December, a foul presence of energy would emerge, cursing all the people who lived on these grounds. And in order to prevent this from occurring, a maiden was chosen by the head of household and isolated away from all of her friends and family. They randomly chose this person at birth, sealing their fate from the start. The reason they did this was to cut off all ties to the outside world and to not cause any issues that may prevent the ritual from being successful. If you thought that was disturbing, this gets way fucking worse. The day of the ritual, the girl chosen was bound by ropes, and she was tied from her neck to her wrists and her legs and attached to a group of horses. The horses would then get riled up and begin to run and jump, ripping the limbs from her body and decapitating her. Yes, this was some dark, fucked up shit. Following the death of the girl, they would remove the ropes soaked in her blood and place him over a portal, the supposed gateway where the foul energy would emerge. These people believed that by performing this sacrifice, it would close the portal, ensuring that these grounds would remain safe for another 50 years. I am really happy that this is not my family. This was a rinse and repeat ritual that went on for thousands of years. Now, approaching more recent history, it is said that during the last strangling ritual, the chosen maiden had fallen in love with the young man. Now, the young man, knowing that the love of his life was cursed, vowed to do everything he could to save his one true love. The love they bore for one another created a sort of psychic energy to the earth. The connection these two had was said to have tainted the young girl's bond, ruining the ritual's progression. The master of the mansion, knowing that the ritual was ruined, dooming all within the estate, took it upon himself to murder every last one of his family members, then sacrificing himself to prevent the curse from coming upon the land, hoping to prevent the suffering and grief that would come. The urban legend says that after this, the family's souls would walk the grounds, eternally attempting to repeat this rite. And this has gone on for nearly 50 years. It is said that from this point, anyone who visited the grounds would see terrifying apparitions wandering, blood splashing on the walls, the sounds of girls screaming, galloping horses, and this, my friends, became the basis of the game Fatal Frame. Since then, this legend has become actually very popular. What follows is the story of Mafuyu's sister deciding to come to the mansion in search of her brother, not having a single clue about anything that has taken place. Now this, to me, is a freaking fantastic basis for a game. After hearing all of that, who wouldn't want to go and buy this game? Regardless of how scary or how morbid it might be, it is in our human nature to be drawn to the darker aspects of the world. And that made this game a cult hit among gamers and has since spawned 5 sequels with various stories. So the question is, did this happen? Is this actually true? Well, some say it is. Now, for me, as gruesome as the story might be, I would like to think that there's some basis in reality in it, although I would never want something as horrible as that to be real, of course. Upon further investigation, I decided to delve into the urban legend, and what I actually uncovered is, well, not much to back it up. There is absolutely no proof that any of this has ever taken place, and in fact, no one has ever even been able to find the mansion outside of Tokyo. That being said, there were a few pics that popped up on the internet of the actual house that did indeed look real, but who's to say that they weren't just random pictures? The legend says this happened between 50 and 100 years ago, and where my issue comes in, if this is indeed a true story, then how would this have gone completely unnoticed until the release of the game? If indeed hundreds to thousands of people were killed there, wouldn't there be some kind of proof? It is not impossible, but it is extremely unlikely that no news outlets nor the police would have found out about this at all. I mean, after all, recently we even learned the identity of Jack the Ripper, which took place in the 1800s. So there's just no way that outside of a major city no one would have found out about this half-century long ritual that supposedly took place. Now, some say this is real, and some say this is just a big elaborate hoax that the creator of the game put out in order to ramp up anticipation and sales of the game. The truth is, in this world, guys, anything is possible. And while I personally don't believe this story, I gotta admit, this is an absolutely genius marketing ploy in the same light as the Blair Witch Project. And there is no doubt in my mind that this captivated the audience and this amazing game and brought its sales up and got it to the cult status it now has. So while it may be false, maybe, every time I turn on this game, I can't help but shudder at the thought that any of this could be real. So what do you guys think? Have you played the game? Do you know the story? And if so, do you actually believe this to be true? Please comment down below and let us know what you think. And as always, my friends, until next time.